We are back again with yet another breakdown video. Excuse me, I couldn't get my words together. We are back with yet another breakdown video. For those of you who are new, breakdown videos is where I find little small videos, like maybe short videos that are probably, within 5 minutes of time range. Sometimes they may be a little bit more. And I just break down what we see visually or what we hear. So I've come across this video on Twitter, and shout out to Bone Nightmare for posting it. I just scrolled through my timeline and I came across it. It stopped me dead in my tracks. And this is a video that was posted on TikTok. Now, what you're going to see is this black woman right here whose name is Regina Jackson. She's sitting at a table filled with a bunch of PC women, and she asked them a very interesting question. Now, you may not be able to see the question because the letters right here are in white, but I'll read it to you. It says, how many of you would trade places with a black person in this society? So what we're going to do is we're going to play the whole video. It's 1 minute and 20 seconds long. And then we're going to go back and break down their responses. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have not seen this video yet, so I have no idea what these women are about to say or what not say. So we're going to see what's up.
How many of you would trade places with a black person in this society? Raise your hand.
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, it's yes or no. How many of you would do it?
I know I wouldn't. I mean, I dated a Hispanic, very dark.
No, I'm not talking about Hispanic. The question is
that I was going to have children. So I spent many years thinking of myself of having very dark-skinned children.
The question is, how many of you would be willing to trade places in this society with a black person?
I think I would.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying there's not racism. Absolutely not. It's just saying I don't see it.
Yeah, but you know how racist this country is.
Not to the degree that you do.
Oh, no, you will never know. You know, in this country, we created the criminalization of black people. And when your skin is seen as a weapon, you're never unarmed. And that's why black boys and men and women are dying in the street with their hands up.
Okay, so y'all heard it right there. So we're going to go back and we're going to break this thing down. I already know y'all are getting antsy in the chat, but we're going to break this down right now. So I'm going to play it back a little bit. And, this is the part where I stop and go and critique what was said or not said. Because like I'm telling you, even some of the moments when they did not say anything just tells a lot. Like I said, sometimes silence speaks volumes.
How many of you would trade places with a black person in this society? Raise your hand.
You could probably tell that everything was going good until she asked that question. They didn't know what to do. Look at this woman's face. Like I said, silence speaks volume. Look at her face. Her eyes got a little bit wider. She almost looks like a Bratz doll. She got a little bit like, I can't believe she actually said that. Luckily, Regina Jackson can't read minds like she's Professor X, because who knows what she would find out, what thoughts would flow through their head if she was able to tap into their brain.
I don't know the answer to that.
Now, she says she doesn't know the answer to that, but she knows the answer to that. And the answer that she gave, from which I heard in the original playback before I started to do the critique or the analysis of this, was not a genuine answer. That was just the answer she gave to her to try to not make Regina Jackson feel bad.
Well, it's yes or no. How many of you would do it?
And that's exactly right. It is a yes or no question. Many of them would say no, but see, the thing is, because she's there and because she asked the question, they aren't answering it honestly at all. They are all lying through their teeth if they said that they would. But the response that this woman gives about the children says a lot.
It's yes or no. How many of you would do it?
I know I wouldn't.
Hold on, let me go back because some of y'all might have missed it. So she said, how many of you would do it? They didn't pan the camera there fast enough to someone who said, I know I wouldn't do it. At least with that person, she's being honest. And I can respect the honesty. But the rest of them who were giving those politically correct statements and saying that they would, we know that you wouldn't. We know that they see what's going on in the world today, like Regina Jackson said, towards the end of this. They know it. We know it. So for them to sit up there and just blatantly lie like that, like I said, the dishonesty is real. But that one who said that she knows that she wouldn't, I applaud her honesty. And the thing is, I think Regina Jackson knows that these women were lying.
I mean, I dated a Hispanic, very dark.
No, I'm not talking about.
Now, look at this one right here. This was the most problematic one at the table. She didn't ask about your dating life. She didn't ask if if you slept with the darkest man ever or the lightest man ever or whoever. And then she went into Hispanic, and she wasn't even talking about Hispanic men or Latino men or whatever. She said black, and she wasn't even talking about dating. She asked, would you trade places with a black person in this society? And seeing as how they are women, we can break it down further. Would you trade places with a black woman in the society? She went off into the direction of talking about dating. She didn't ask her about her dating life or who she slept with. None of that. And I'm glad Regina checked her on that.
But I was going to have children. So I spent many years thinking of myself of having very dark-skinned children.
No, you didn't. Because you, as a PC woman, with the way genetics work, even if you slept with the darkest man that was the color of a turned off TV screen, your children would never come out the same shade as the father of the child. Or if that's your husband, they will not come out the same shade. They're going to be a little bit light because of the genes that they pull from you. I have yet to see an interracial couple have a child that was very dark. I haven't seen it yet. Even if the person is, and I'll use Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey for example. We all know that Mariah Carey is biracial and Nick Cannon is black. But when you look at their two children, they're light in color. They don't have the same complexion as their dad. They may have, it might be like maybe facial features could, be the same a little bit, but they don't have the same skin tone. So when this woman says that she could have dark skinned children, that's a lie. And this is a full up and down PC woman that has two PC parents. And Mariah Carey had a black dad and a PC mother. And look at how her children came out when she had children with a black man. So when she says this, that's why I said she's the most problematic one at this table. She went from dating to talking about children. She didn't ask that. She asked, would you trade places with a black person in this society? Yes or no? And you can look at this woman's face right here. She's looking at her like, huh? Even the other women at the table were looking at her when she gave that response. Like, what are you talking about? She didn't ask about your dating life or your children or whatever the case may be. She's like, you're making PC women look bad out here. And the crazy part about it is it's a lot of PC women out there that have this mindset that if they sleep with a black man or have children with a black man or marry a black man, whatever the case it is with a black man or have black friends or whatever it is, that absolves them of racism. That's how many of them think. Just like on the flip side, if you have a black person, whether man or woman, that gets with a PC person, we're just limiting it to just that they somehow have broken the color barrier as if they are the first person to ever do it. You're not. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be every last one of them, but there are a lot of them that feel that they do. I'll give you an example. Do y'all remember that coach, that black coach who made history being a coach, I think, at North Carolina, one of those colleges? I think it was North Carolina, the Tar Heels, where Michael Jordan went to? University of North Carolina. When he had made history as that coach, and he was talking about his accomplishments or whatever. And then out of the blue, out of nowhere, speaking of blue, because that's one of the colors, he just mentioned that he was proud to have a white wife. You literally pedestalized your wife over a historical accomplishment because she's white, and then talked about your children having a part of each of you. Well, duh, that's how genetics work. Captain Obvious. Some of y'all probably remember that. I don't know if I can't remember if I spoke on that or not. I probably did. And I don't know if he fell into my bed bucking series, but I don't know. I can't remember. But I remember when he said that it was so left field. It made no sense. Just like what this PC woman just said right here, not her, but the one before her, talking about her having dark skinned kids. She's not going to have dark skinned kids no matter how hard she tries. Let me continue.
The question is, how many of you would be willing to trade places in this
Now look at her face.
place?
Now she getting tight-lipped and tilting that head because her little off-the-wall point didn't fly. See, she thought she was going to pull one over on Regina Jackson, but she wasn't successful. She specifically asked, would you trade places with a black person in this society? She tried to take her question and jumble it up and ball it up into something that it is not, to try to divert from the original point. And now she's upset. Look at her. She's upset. She's mad.
In this society with a black person.
Here comes the cap.
I think I would.
Here she is. I think I would. No, you wouldn't. They wouldn't. They wouldn't. The only honest person at that table was the one earlier that slipped in and said, I don't think I would.
Absolutely. Okay.
I'm not saying there's not racism. Absolutely not. It's just saying I don't see it.
There it is. Hold on. Let me go back to her. She said, I'm not saying that there isn't racism. I'm not. I'm just saying that I don't see. And see, that's the gift that PC privilege gives to them. That they can go around and claim that they don't see racism and racism doesn't exist when we know good and goddamn well that it does. They know it too. And they know that they benefit from it. And they also benefit from able to shield and lie to themselves and try to lie to others that it doesn't. See, they have multiple privileges that they don't want to acknowledge, but they have no problem acknowledging, if that makes sense. And she just did it right here. Now, I don't know if she was one of the ones that said that she would trade places, but my thing is this. If she says she would trade places with a black person in society, but then wants to go around and saying she doesn't see racism, how are you going to trade places with a black person? Because a black person doesn't have the luxury or the fortitude to sit there and say that they don't see racism unless they're a coon. Unless they one of these tap dancing, corn shucking and jiving, tap dancing Sambos. That's the only way. But you know what? With her mindset as a PC woman, if she traded places with a black person in the society, they would have that Sambo mindset just based off of what she just said. If she was a black person.
Yeah, but you know how racist this country is.
Not to the degree that you do.
So Regina said, but you know how racist this country is. And she said, yes, but not to the degree you do. So she just answered her own statement that she, as a PC woman, or just as a PC person, doesn't have to be a woman, it could be a man, a boy or a girl. They know the privilege that they have. They just don't want us pointing it out. So they have to go around lying to others and, most importantly, lying to themselves that this and that don't exist when they know that it does. Why do you think they have to go around trying to rewrite, or I'm about to say rewrite, history? Because if they can do that, then they can fool everybody. Why do you think they have such a chokehold on the media? Because with that, they can manipulate anything. In manipulation, there's a lot of power in manipulation, and they hone it, and they hone it well, whether they want to admit to it or not.
No, you will never know. You know, in this country, we created the criminalization of black people. And when you're
She's right about that. And look at this one again. Look at that death stare. Look at that death stare. I told y'all she was the most problematic one at that table. From the looks to the bringing about the dark-skinned children, about mentioning Hispanic men. And she literally tried to black and brown the conversation, which had nothing to do with the quote unquote brown people of America. Look at that stare. Look, she looked like she probably wanted to jump across that table or get up and leave and clutch her little invisible pearls and put on a whole Karen act. Speaking of Karen, I wouldn't be surprised if her name is Karen.
And when your skin is seen as a weapon, you're never unarmed. And that's why black boys and men and women are dying in the street with their hands up.
And that's the whole video right there. But yeah, shout out to Regina Jackson for asking that question. And that's a question that if you really want to see how PC people think, ask them that question. Ask them what they think about reparations for FBA or freedom, and however you want to call it. Ask them certain questions that you know will trigger them, and watch their responses. I just did a video, a breakdown video with, I think it was a correspondent for CNN, and he asked these two PC individuals, it's a couple, about slavery and the presidents and stuff like that, and the way that they just jumbled over their words, and the guy was stuttering all over the place. They wasn't expecting that. They weren't expecting that. And they told on themselves every single time. Just ask them like little, questions like that and see what their responses are. But yeah, that's going to conclude this breakdown video. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. I can't wait to see what you say down in the comments. Hit that subscribe button. If for any reason the bell is not working when you click the bell twice, I do upload my videos in a Premiere style format, which means the notification button will be on the thumbnail. Just click it and the notification should come your way. The links will be down in the description. I'll talk to you in the next one.